One of the best things about the Summer Game Fest event was the reveal of Resident Evil 9 Requiem, and one of the things that we loved about that trailer was the return of a character some of us knew about in the past, that being Alyssa Ashcroft. Yes, she was mentioned in Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, but having her as a main part of a mainline Resident Evil game gave fans a ton of service and, dare I say, grace. But it was more so about how one game that nobody expected to be relevant in 2025 in terms of the story to be brought back to light to new fans and even the old ones. That game is known as Resident Evil Outbreak, the game that featured Alyssa. Also, there was a file 2 for it, but primarily I want to talk about one or just both games if I really feel like it. This video is going to be about how special this game was for its time, and as time went on made us appreciate the game more than what we did back then, and also to showcase how special this game truly was. Fans have been requesting a remake of both games combined, or let alone them getting remastered into modern consoles, but regardless, let's talk about this game. Directed by Ichiro Sasaki, Resident Evil Outbreak was released on December 11, 2003 in Japan, and March 30th, 2004 in North America. It was the first entry in the Resident Evil video game series to feature cooperative gameplay and online multiplayer support. The controls and gameplay are similar to the Resident Evil remake, or basically any fixed camera game in the RE universe. But what made it so unique and made it necessarily stand out compared to other RE games? The beginning of Outbreak is set a couple days after the initial outbreak of the T-Virus in Raccoon City, moments before the crisis further escalates into complete chaos. The game starts with multiple characters in Jack's bar, who are unaware of what is happening until a lone zombie wanders into the bar and attacks one of the employees named Will. Soon after, the characters must escape the bar and make it through the city to safety. The game ends in the final moments of the same incident, with the player attempting to escape Raccoon City before the US government launches a missile strike to eliminate the threat posed by the G-Virus. The player controls one of 8 characters, with gameplay events transpiring across various regions of Raccoon City and span over a period of several days. Was it the wide variety of characters you could play as? Kevin Ryman, Alyssa Ashcroft, Yoko Suzuki, Cindy Lennox, and much more? The scenarios available that you could play as anyone? Or the multiple endings that could happen in such a game? What about stuff like Infinity Mode, Lone Wolf Mode as to where you could be just by yourself and escape the outbreak? The virus gauge that brought a new element in terms of your survival? Even the large difference in difficulty. With the AI partner supporting you, it was a fun game to play, but when you had people playing with you online, it was a great experience, including many places around Raccoon City, from the bar, the underground laboratory featured in Resident Evil 2, the hospital featured in Resident Evil 3, the Apple Inn Hotel, and Raccoon University. Unfortunately, the online support didn't last as long as we wanted to. That would end on March 31st, 2007, and the Japan servers were closed in 2011. However, fans were able to bring the mode back 2 years later in 2013. It's safe to say Resident Evil Outbreak was a game ahead of its time, and with a potential remake that could happen in who knows how long, would thrive in today's gaming landscape. Capcom has tried many multiplayer games, but it more so leaned on a PvP aspect. With the failures that occurred in the 2010s and early 2020s, we have found a whole new way to appreciate Resident Evil Outbreak, and many people have wanted a remake or a remaster since the wide succession of the RE remakes. Raccoon City has already been featured in the RE engine, and we are returning to it in the new Resident Evil Requiem game releasing in February 2026. So it begs the question, will we ever see a remake or remaster of this game? As of right now, it's not likely, as fans want to see remakes of Resident Evil Code Veronica, Zero, and many other games. But Outbreak is a game that many people would not be against the idea of a remake. It actually would be incredible fan service, giving us cross-platform multiplayer with the incredible features used in the PS2 game. Like I said, it would thrive in my honest opinion. In 2004, Capcom experimented with something they never did in the RE universe. Sure, it wasn't the best received game, but over time the game became beloved, had unique gameplay features, characters we all remember and love, and they finally acknowledged it in the reveal trailer with Alyssa Ashcroft. Unfortunately, she is presumed dead, and once we play as Grace, we may finally have our Requiem, our conclusion to knowing if she is really dead, finding her killer, and much more. However, that may not be the end of the details in Outbreak that may have been implemented into RE9. As I mentioned in my previous video, in the ending of Outbreak, we discovered that Umbrella had a lab in the middle of the crater of Raccoon City, 6 months after the destruction of the city. But people may think, how? Isn't it a nuclear wasteland? Not really, and be sure to watch my previous video for the full explanation. My experience with Outbreak was unfortunately short-lived, and I really enjoyed what Capcom offered. I played this game on my PS2 a few years back, and knowing of all the scenarios and potential endings each character had, it gave me motivation to play more of it. Sucks to know I only found out about that after I sold my PS2, but hopefully one day I can experience all the endings firsthand. And funny enough, during the reveal of RE9, The Outbreak fan service hit a new all-time user peak in the hours following the reveal, being over 5,600 players a couple hours after the RE9 Requiem reveal trailer. With many things in Outbreak being implemented into Requiem, it seems this game is getting the recognition it deserves on a global scale. Hopefully one day we get a remake or a remaster. The game was ahead of its time, but more importantly special to the people who played it. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like on it to help it reach the YouTube algorithm, and subscribe to the channel for more content like this in the near future. And also comment down below who your favorite character was in Outbreak. And as always, I will catch you guys in my next video. Peace out, and much love.